Jon Walesczyk, principal with Speight Marshall Francis. We're a structural engineering firm and we do special inspections. We've been around for 25 years. We're the largest structural engineering firm in the state of Virginia. Speight Marshall Francis and Vulcraft have a great partnership. We've worked together on 25 to 30 Vulcraft Ecospan projects. The values Ecospan are providing our client and us, first with our client, it's giving them choices. It's giving them one more choice. With the Ecospan system, the floor system is lighter. So if the floor system is lighter, that's a trickle-down effect. First thing you think of is the foundation. Whether we're on piles or not, we may have less piles. If we're on footings, they may be smaller. And as you work your way up the building, the cold form framing or whatever is supporting the Ecospan system, it doesn't have to support as much load when you've got about a 20 to 25% lighter dead load right off the bat. We usually get a lot of feedback when we do panelized work, and they tell us how much savings they're getting, how much lighter these panels are to lift and erect and move, and how much savings has gotten to the owner. You know, all the stud gauges coming down is a savings. The value for us is we now have another option to give owners and developers and architects, so we're more valuable to them. And we've done enough of the Ecospan projects, whether it's apartments, we've incorporated it into schools, office buildings. Now we have a variety of projects we can show them that are successful. Most of the office buildings in our area built in the 80s are open web steel joist, 9/16 deck, 3-inch slab. Most of them are bouncy. Now that we check those things and are held to them, and there's a lot more open office spaces, doing Ecospan where you're adding the composite shear flex screws and making it work together, you're solving some of the problems the older system had. We built this building about a year ago, and our decision was to use Ecospan versus regular joist. We have about a 45-foot span in our office building here. A good portion of it, besides the conference rooms and the perimeter offices, is open office space, and it's not bouncy. No one's complained. We have a full-time special inspector. That's all he does. He's out in the field from probably 6 to 6 almost every day. He says it's a breeze. I mean, you got someone who's done it before and they have all the proper tools and they understand the drawings, and we'll sit down with them if the first time they've worked on a project like this and go through, you know, this is what this nomenclature means. Here's the typical details that tell you where the screws go, how often you put them, it's staggering them, all the different things they need to know. Once they know that, even if it's their first time, they'll come back and say this was pretty easy and it's pretty straightforward. The last benefit I can say Ecospan gives you is there's no shoring. So when you have a composite slab system, you're bearing on walls that may be 15 feet apart, but you probably have 1 or 2 intermediate rows of temporary shoring until the concrete cures. So, and then you've got to reshore it as you move up the building. When that shoring's in the way, it prohibits the guys from behind from starting their ductwork, starting to run their electrical, or if they do it, they've got to work around all these shoring posts and things like that. So it's more difficult for the contractor to schedule people to come right behind you. Whereas with the Ecospan, you place the concrete. A few days later, you're starting to build up your next set of walls, and a mechanical contractor could be behind you already hanging duct and sprinkler and all that on the floor right below you. In the other systems, it's a little more difficult to do that. It takes a little more planning. Most projects that would normally have joist or hollow core or composite deck, we always throw out Ecospan and say, let's look at these and make sure we're picking the right decision for everybody, from cost to the best benefit to the use of the tenants in the future.